Hey everybody, it's Thunder. I'm still laughing from last night's debate. No, I didn't watch the whole thing. I couldn't. It would have gagged me had I watched the whole thing. I just want to say how ridiculous and what a joke uh, elections are, voting is. The big presidential race, what a joke it is. I couldn't believe, well, I guess I could believe, but I thought, well, I'm gonna turn this on just for a second on TV. Like I say, I never watch TV, and I don't, especially don't watch politics, and I especially don't watch talking heads. But I thought, well, I'll turn this on just for a second here to see what Trump has to say because he's been causing some waves. And I did get a kick out of some of the things he said because, for, I'm not for anybody. Don't get me, don't take me wrong here. I'm not for anybody. I'm not against anybody. I'm just sitting there laughing. The whole thing was a freaking joke. Okay, it was a freaking joke. You got these, 10, 12 guys standing up there like little puppets and dressed in their little coats and ties and their hair combed just the right way. And then you got the barracudas and the shark, what do you call them, commentators. And boy, that woman too, that blonde, I don't know who she was, but she went for the throat. And then the audience. I mean, the audience applauding and booing, and are these people real? Are they real? I mean, do they really watch this stuff and get off on it like that? We got some dumb shits in this country, don't we? Seeing as that politics doesn't mean shit, and those are just puppets up there, and they're all scripted. They all have their little scripts up there about, what they're going to say to the other person on stage if they attack them. Or then they got the little script about attacking the other party's candidate, like Hillary Clinton. And it's all scripted and it's all memorized and it's all a joke because none of it is real. They're not really dealing with issues that those of us who are in the know about, and then the topics that they have that, let's take ISIS, for example. Let's just take that one topic, how they boil it down to we're going to fight terrorism and what do you do about ISIS? They ask them, and they say, well, we're going to do this, and we're going to take steps, and we need a strong commander. And what a joke. What a freaking joke. If they were truthful, they'd say, yeah, we know that ISIS is a CIA-controlled, manipulated, created, okay, by the CIA, and they would get into Benghazi, and they would get into how we supplied arms to the, the anti-Syrian freedom fighters and how they migrated over to become ISIS, and how a lot of the stuff is staged, and a lot of the stuff is out and out CIA guys dressed up as ISIS, and I could go on and on and on. And they're sitting there with this facade, talking about how they're going to fight the enemy, and it was really, really pathetic. It was really pathetic to see all those little puppets up there in their little suits. The biggest laugh I got is when that chick commentator, I don't know who she was, some blonde bitch, she attacked Trump and said that he said something about that women were fat, and did you say that women were pigs? And he came back with only Rosie O'Donnell. that was pretty good. That made me watching the debates for a little bit worthwhile. Why? Because he's just off the he's off the charts, and he's not scripted, and so I got a kick out of that. The red-haired rich boy up there with all the baboons. Not that he's not a baboon too. I mean, the way he combs his hair over the top of his head and to hide his baldness or whatever. But a lot of people think that somebody that's in business would be good for this country. You'll see that what they don't really know is that, and what nobody knows is, it doesn't really matter who gets in as president. It doesn't matter, because they're all bought and paid for. They're all, and they talk about that even amongst themselves. They say, yeah, we're going to fight no more special interests. Well, why should there be special interests in the freaking first place? Hello? Why should that even be a consideration? Why should we fight special interests if you're not taking the graft under the table from the special interests? So here they're bringing up special interests, and they're sitting there taking graft and being bought off by them. Well, see, the president really doesn't have any power. He's run by the banksters, the elite, the powers to be, the PTB, the dark forces, whatever you want to call them, the idiots, the people destroying the planet, the people destroying mankind, the people with the agendas. They're the ones that are running the show. And so we got this big distraction out there called an election, where all these those guys remind me of those little dolls that you put in the back of cars, and they had the head that bobbed back and forth on a spring. That's what they remind me of, because they're, excuse me, they're worse. I mean, there's just no brains there. There's no brains. It's all an act. And so, why do people go? My question is, why do people go to these things? It's like a football game. Here's this big, huge stadium, and all these people cheering and clapping and booing, and I mean, I can't even believe that's real. I mean, it's hard for me to believe that many people could be that friggin' stupid to sit there and clap for candidates for elective office that aren't going to do anything when they get in anyway, and we've seen it time and time again. It doesn't have a thing to do. I can't stress this enough. That's all a dog and pony show. It's all a big sideshow. And you need to get that through your head, people, and not buy into this situation where you think that any one of those MFers is going to do a damn thing about anything that's really a problem. Like nature being destroyed and the planet being destroyed and mankind being destroyed and wars and killings and murders and covert CIA ops and NSA spying on the people. And do I have to go on here? Those of us in the know, and you guys that watch me, better know by now, okay? And if you don't, take a hike. That's the way I feel about it. And so you got to know that all this stuff, everything is a lie, everything is put on, everything is a projected dog and pony show. And if it's not, and even the violence, it's a dog and pony show. And so the elections are worthless. This country's worthless because it's run by fascist dictator bankers that have an agenda to depopulate the planet and cause harm to others and rip people off for everything that they can get out of them. I personally I pray to Spirit that somehow this shit all comes down. Okay? I pray to Great Spirit and to the Ancient of Ancients and to anybody that will listen. Okay? Grandmother, grandfather, please take these people down. Even if I got to go with them. Take them down. Because this shit is off the charts. It's off the charts. It's so phony, there isn't one thing that's real anymore. There isn't one thing that's real. It's all a facade. It's all an illusion. It's the delusion in the illusion, is what I always say. It's the delusion in the illusion, because this is all an illusion anyway. It's Maya. It's the Hindu call it Maya. It's a false perception of reality. It's like a virtual reality, okay? And we don't know what it means. Does it have any meaning, really, other than maybe we're here for a lesson? I don't know. But people, whatever you do, don't buy into this this game, this horrific exhibition, okay? It's almost pornographic on some level. It's because here you are, here's all these people buying into, like, if they vote for somebody, things are going to change, and they never, ever, ever change for the better. And that's what people are looking for. They're giving their power to this goon squad that they call, candidates. I'm smarter than they are, okay? I'm like 10 times smarter than they are, 13, maybe 100x times smarter than they are. And I mean smart on a spiritual level, and I mean probably smarter. I've probably done more things than they've ever friggin' done in their lives. All they can talk about is, well, I balanced the budget for our state and I put so many people to work, which is all lies. It's all lies. And so why should we pay any attention? We know what the state of the economy is. Anybody that is, watching alternative or truthful reports, we know that the financial system is about to collapse. God, I hope it collapses. I hope it collapses. I hope everything collapses. Hope everything falls down before these people's eyes that are in that big stadium clapping for their. Wouldn't that make everybody look foolish? And that's what they need to do. That's what needs to be done. God help us, please. Take these idiots off the earth. Do what you need to do with them. And make them pay for their misdeeds to their fellow man. That's all I got to say. I'm going to keep this video short today, but I just thought I'd comment on the whole scene, I just had to take a glimpse and go, what is it that I don't want to watch or don't even want to pay attention to for, the next 14 months or however long it is to, I don't even know when the elections, what are they, in November or whatever? I don't know. Why are they starting in so early? See, that's another thing. It's like when they start this early, it's a big distraction. It's a big distraction to keep your mind off what's really going on. All these people are running around putting these little badges on, and then they'll have their conventions and the ticker tape and the talking heads, and oh my God, doesn't this stuff get old to you people? For those of us who know, for those of us who really know, doesn't it just turn your stomach that you got to watch this shit, and then you got to watch your fellow man actually? But that was the most disappointing thing of all to me, was watching that big crowd of people, yay, boo, what do they think they? I mean, they're like a bunch of friggin' high schoolers at a football game, and our planet is hanging in the balance, and mankind could be exterminated with the. Oh, and that's another thing. I guess I better bring this. See, as I think about certain things. The Russian thing. They're like beating up on Russia and making them look like the bad guys when Russia was our allies in World War II, and they actually won World War II. If it wasn't for them, that we wouldn't have won, probably. Excuse me. And they're beating up on Russia, and they're making them, and they said that Russia did some cyber attack, and that's all lies. It's all lies. Putin's the only one that speaks truth. I mean, I just heard that stuff and I'm just going, there is so much disinfo, there is so much sidetracking of issues, there is so much brainwashing going in here. It breaks my heart, people, to think that people actually buy into this shit. Hello? Wake up, you dumb zombies. Zombie apocalypse. Wake up. It's going to go south at some point, I hope. I hope and pray that it all goes south and that these people learn a big, big lesson. I'm sorry, I don't mean to sound vindictive or vengeful or anything like that, but when there's a bunch of people out there trying to guide people onto a more let's say light-filled instead of darkness-filled spiritual path, or to wake people up, and you see the multitudes of people groveling at the feet of puppets, stupid puppets, stupid, laughable. I mean, really, really laughable, the stuff that comes out of their mouths. And not one of them is sincere. Not one of those MFers is sincere. All they're in it for is the prestige, the bucks, to make a name for them, not for the people. Not for the people. So anyway, I'm going to leave it there, people. I just had to get this out and say that. And say that I hope that humanity at some point gets it. Because they're really unhip, okay? They're stupid. They're not hip at all. And hip in my day meant hip to it, baby. Hip to what's really going on out there, and not being caught up in the plastic crap being thrown at you. And just TV alone is just a sideshow. It's a sideshow, people, and I'd stay away from it. Bond with your fellow man, try to wake them up, try to make them see how pathetic this country has become, how pathetic. Really, that's all I got to say. I'll just leave it there for today. So this is Thunder, over